If you want to be a sales rock star, you have to be prepared for any type of resistance at any point during the phone call. See, this is what separates a lounge act and an opening act from an absolute sales rock star, is they're prepared for any type of resistance at any point during the phone call. Today what we're going to do is this. We're going to discuss that dreaded question, what do you want? Why are you calling me? At the very beginning of a phone call, the person doesn't know who you are. They're asking you, what do you want? Why are you calling me? How do you respond to a stall like that? Before understanding how to respond to this stall or objection, you must first understand why the other person is actually saying this to you. See, most salespeople are going to think that they're being faced with this question because the other person does not know who they are or what company they're actually representing. Now, there is some truth to this, because if the person knew who you were, they probably wouldn't be asking you this question or sound irritated by your phone call if they knew who you were. However, that's not the real reason that you're being asked this question, because the individual is getting a lot of calls. That's why they're doing this. They're saying, what do you want? What's this all about? Because they're getting a lot of phone calls. Think about today's day and age. People are getting phone calls on their cell phone all the time, and you are lumped into all those phone calls as well. They're frustrated at the number of calls that they're getting. They're not necessarily frustrated at you. That's the key to being a sales rock star, is understanding that they're not frustrated with you if you do the right thing. But if you don't do the right thing, they'll definitely be frustrated with you. If you enter the phone call as a lounge act, then absolutely they will be frustrated, and they should be frustrated. So do not take it personally if you're greeted with an aggressive personality. See, what it is now is that it's up to you to be different than everyone else that's actually calling them. So you need to look at this as an opportunity to further the conversation, not seeing this as some type of a stop question. So many agents see this, and so many salespeople see this as a stop question. When somebody says, what's this all about? Why are you calling me? They get offended. They see it as a stop question, and you cannot see this as a stop question. Here is what your mindset should be, is that the other person deliberately answered your phone call. That person deliberately picked up the phone. They had a choice. They had a choice not to answer that phone call. But once they did that, here's the deal. All bets were off. Once they picked up the phone call and they talked to you, all bets are off. See, the universe has given you an opportunity to help someone else or make their day a little bit better because they ran into you. That needs to be your mindset when you jump on the phone call. You must be the difference maker. You have to be the difference maker. See, if you can't make them listen to you, you have to have this mindset. It's your fault. It's not theirs. It's your fault. It's not theirs if you cannot get them to listen to you. See, remember, the person that you're talking to is not the problem. The problem is the problem. See, the problem is they are getting a lot of phone calls, which would be irritating to you as well. However, from my experience in phone sales, whenever someone would aggressively answer with a question, or they would aggressively answer with, a statement, what do you want? I would see it as a cry for help. See, a majority of the time, the individual still needed some help, but no one would give them the time because they viewed this as a stop question. You cannot view this as a stop question. See, view this question instead as an open-ended question and a permission to open up the relationship. So you always want to agree with the individual. See, most of the time, a salesperson feels that they must tell them immediately who they are and what company they represent and jump right into their product or service, whatever they're offering. See, this is what a lounge act does in sales. Do not do that. See, the individual right now just asked you a great question. They just said, what is this all about? Why are you calling me? That's a great question. For somebody that doesn't know who you are, that's a great question. So acknowledge that. You want the other person to be blown away with you. You don't want them to see you as adversarial. You see, most people have been taught the wrong way to sell. I believe most people have been taught to have an adversarial approach, not a relationship approach. So you have to have the mindset of a relationship approach, not a adversarial one. So you're going to answer this question this way. You're going to go ahead and you are going to agree with the person. You're going to state their first name. So you're going to connect with this other person that you're talking to. You want them to be drawn into right away at the very beginning of your phone call. Then you're going to state the facts, and then you're going to get right into your discovery. Here's a mistake that a lot of lounge acts make, is they go ahead and they pause and they wait for the other person to answer. There's no pause. You go right into your discovery process. You don't know if this person that you have on the phone with you right now can even do business with you. So don't go into all your product and your service and everything like that. Start finding out if this person is even a viable prospect that you should even be talking to. So here's what you do. If somebody says, "What's this all about? Why are you calling me?" You're going to first start out by going, "That's a great question," and then state their first name. So in this, we'll say John. "That's a great question, John. It looks like you had requested some information, or it looks like you'll be turning 65 and be eligible for Medicare soon. Let me ask you a question." You go right into your discovery process. So what you've just done is you've acknowledged that what they asked was a great question. See, most salespeople will not know what to say, or they're going to try to defend themselves. They're going to have this adversarial approach of like, "Well, I'm calling you because..." Stop. Agree with them right away. That's a great question. And then state their name and connect with them right away. And then state the facts. Tell them why you're calling them. A lot of times when you say "it sounds like," "it looks like," that's also kind of creating a relationship with the other person. Those words, "it sounds like," "it looks like," "it seems like," is great at connecting with that other person. So "that's a great question, John. It looks like you'd requested some information. It looks like you're turning 65 right now. Let me ask you a question," then get right into your discovery process. That's how you handle this stall. This is something that has to be an automatic reflex when somebody does that. So, "What's this all about?" "That's a great question, John. It looks like you're turning 65. It looks like you request some information from us. Let me ask you a question." And then boom, right into your discovery process. So that's how you handle this type of stall. Now, what about if at the end of the day, they still come back at you aggressively? Let me give you another really good thing to say if somebody says, "Why are you calling me? What's this all about?" Again, we're going to do the same thing. "That's a great question, John. Right now, I don't know if you need to talk to me, but I'm excited to have you on the phone with me. Let me ask you a question." See what just happened right there? Is you just went ahead and acknowledged again, "Hey, that's a great question, John. Right now, I don't know if you need to talk to me." You don't know if the person needs to talk to you right now, but let them know you're excited to have them on the phone with you. Then go right into "let me ask you a question." See, this will typically work and get the potential prospect to at least listen to you, okay? That's all you want right now, is you want them to listen to you. You want them to see you as a sales rock star. You don't want them to view you right off the bat as a lounge act or an opening act. You want them to listen to you so that you can further the conversation. Now, if this does not work, you can't just give up and end the phone call. You need to appeal to their emotions. People do not buy logically, they buy emotionally. So what about if the person says, after you've done this, after you've put yourself out there, they say, "I'm not interested in talking to you. Please do not call me again." Okay? Now they've got a little bit rougher. So again, you don't want to go ahead and hang up the phone call. These moments are defining moments that make you better as a salesperson. They elevate you so that you're able to go ahead and tackle any type of resistance. So at the end of the day, if somebody were to say something like that to me, here's how I would respond. "I hear you, Jim." Okay? So you're acknowledging, "I hear you." Okay? And you state their first name. And then here's something that you can do to really appeal to that emotional side. "I hear you, Jim. I believe that there's no coincidences in life. I believe the universe meant for us to connect today. If you could be kind enough to give me a couple of minutes of your time, let's find out together why the universe did that. Let me ask you a question." And get right into your discovery process. Do not wait for them to acknowledge it. Then just start asking your questions. "Hey, I see that you live here. This is your zip code. I have your date of birth as this." Get right into your discovery question. See, this question has appeal to their emotional side. It's different. and it will hopefully get them talking to you. You see, people respond emotionally. Never ever forget that in sales. If this still does not work, you must develop a game plan of open-ended questions as long as they are talking to you. You are being granted an opportunity by the universe to turn the conversation around in your favor. This is what you need to do to be a sales rock star. Now, here is my suggestion. Get out there and start practicing. Get out there and start working on this. Start going 3-4 levels deep on your responses to the stalls, to the objections, so that at the end of the day, you are a sales rock star and there's no resistance that can come your way that will stop you. Go get them, rock stars.